the music that you're hearing right now. John, what is up? Come on, man. Get your fat ass over to Pepino's. I don't think I've ever really seen you at one of our parties, John. I mean, come on. So the Eric Zane Show Podcast has begun for yet another Friday. Today is January 10th. From the Back Alley Comedy Club studio, where this weekend, Saturday, you have Troy Davis appearing. And then, so that's going on Saturday, Back Alley Comedy Club Muskegon. Not to mention Josh Blue, January 24th and 25th, Back Alley Rockford, and then Back Alley Muskegon on consecutive days. All right. What is up? Yeah, really excited about that party because the Griffins game is going to conclude. We're going to then march on over to Pepino's. Some folks aren't going to the game. That's absolutely cool. But that would be kind of a late start for this bash, this 1-year anniversary bash, where it's a big thank you to all of you for coming out. I wish I could do more. Honestly, I wish I could provide you with all the drinks and stuff like that, and rides to and from the whole damn deal. Roll up the red carpet for you people who have given me your time and supported this show. Still, it'd be great to hang out with you. So Friday tonight, that would be roughly between 9:30 and 10 when I'll wander in there after the hockey game, and then we'll hang out. I want to see new faces, too. I love seeing the regulars, but I want new people to come up and say, yes, hello, hey, I've watched every episode, or I've listened to every episode, and or I'm new, or I hate your guts. That happens, too. I have never had someone walk up to me and say, yeah, hey, how you doing, Zane? I'm okay. How are you? Yeah, I said that shitty comment about you, and I hate your guts. You suck. That has never, ever happened. The pointless pussies of the world go online and they try to bring you down, but they won't actually, approach you because, they're hidden by obscurity, so they can be completely gutless in their attacks. And I haven't gotten into a fight with anybody. That isn't anything that's cooking right now. I've kind of been able to just smash that into oblivion. Not only will this be a 1-year anniversary for the show, but it's also a get-together to have a funeral for the old Reddit page. We have an asshole-free Reddit page right now. All right. There is bad weather coming to West Michigan, and it's kind of got a lot of people buzzing about, what is up. And it's a bummer for people like me because that's all anybody talks about is the weather. It's going to get rough. But truth be told, there is a substantial line going all the way top to bottom, from the top of the country to the bottom of the country. Now, in the southern states, forget the snow and sleet and shit like that can, mess things up for us here. In the southern states, you're talking about the potential for, like, tornadoes. So that's always on people's mind. So you got that, and then as you head up further north, you're going to get the snow, sleet, freezing rain, whatnot. Now, where we are, we could see like 1 inch of freezing rain. And if that happens, it's going to be cataclysmic because there's going to be an unbelievable amount of power outages. The roads will be horrendous. And this could all, some of these weather people in town, they don't really commit to a time frame yet because there's different weather models that they look at. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to predict, especially when you have life-threatening weather. Nobody wants to commit. So they're like, okay, well, where you are in the viewing area or the listening area of West Michigan, you could see snow, sleet, rain. So they're saying that this could all really start to go to shit in my neck of the woods in the later stages of the afternoon, okay? As the temperature drops and things move through and come into play, the precipitation could go from rain to freezing rain, and then, oh God, it's just a skating rink out on the roads. Now, the reason why this all comes up is because there is just one outlet for radio that really, really dives into keeping the public informed about stuff like this. And in radio, it's called a full-service radio station. All the other radio stations, they concentrate on just music. Most of them are not staffed at all. But Wood Radio is. And so it is their job. Everybody goes to Wood Radio at moment. I mean, a lot of people listen to Wood Radio as it is. Hell, as evidenced by the latest ratings. They did absolutely tremendous. But one of the other things that they, in addition to the normal programming that draws a lot of audience, if there's any type of weather issue, everybody tunes to Wood because there's always updated information, and we work very closely with Wood TV8. You got Wood TV8 and then Wood Radio. Okay, they're not owned by the same people, but they I think they were way back in the day. But so the brand is important. Everybody goes to the radio, turn on the radio. It's what you do around here. When there's bad weather, you go to the store, you get bread, you get milk, you get batteries, maybe something to back up power on your phone, and you get your transistor radio ready to go, or they listen on the iHeart app to what the hell's going on. It's what you do. Now, back in the day, we used to have like an actual transistor radio, which are really kind of difficult to find, I think, these days. I think you got to order them online. We used to have one at home that you crank the side of it, and it doesn't need batteries. You can charge its own power supply with a hand crank. So that's what you get. They tune to the radio. It's very important that Wood Radio is up to date with all the necessary things so that people can get the information they need. This is critical. This is not anything to screw around with. Guess who is going to be minding the store when the shit starts to go down tomorrow? You guessed it. Number one jackass is at the helm. All right, so, now this job normally on Saturdays when I go there is the world's most experienced board op. Sometimes you're running a Michigan game, and so you're sitting there and you hit buttons and you're maybe updating the Twitter feed with the latest breaking news, things like that. And even that, sometimes I get in the weeds. You'll hear 8 things playing at once. Maybe inadvertently I'll get on the air and you'll hear me say, "What the hell's going on?" Or I put a phone call on the air, So, but this, I need to be really, really focused. And so knowing me, though, I'll play a wrong weather forecast that says it's going to be sunny and 85. So I'm a little nervous about that. Make sure that tomorrow between, let's see, what time am I at work at the world-famous Wood Radio tomorrow? Oh, yeah, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., right in the middle of all that shit going down, 1 to 6. My God. All right. So if you hear all sorts of craziness happening, that's probably my fault. I'll let you know. We'll talk. We'll reconvene Monday if there was any issue. Hey, Eric, we don't need your help anymore here. Is there anything more terrible than losing your freaking wallet or something like a set of keys or a wallet? Damn it. Man, that happened to me yesterday, and it was all I wanted to do was leave. I had a scheduled start time of 6 p.m. at the Grand Rapids Camper Show. And, I've teamed up with Terrytown RV, so my goal was just go there, be seen. Maybe someone recognizes me. Maybe hey, how are you? You thinking about buying? Well, buy from these guys. Stuff like that. Do a Facebook Live, which I eventually did. But son of a bitch. I'm getting ready to go. I'm on time. There's always some. Now, I have gotten in the habit of always putting my keys and wallet in one spot because I lose them so much. And the second I let my guard down, I go to leave. I go to the spot. There's the keys. No wallet. I swear to God, it's absolutely a struggle. I think I could get so much more done with my day if I could stop losing things. It's absolutely a legitimate problem. It pisses me off so bad. And there's nothing worse when you're stomping around the house and you can hear the ticking of the clock in your brain, and you're so frustrated you can't find it. There's no way in hell you're ever going to find it, and you're getting more and more agitated. I'm starting to sweat. I'm stomping around. I'm starting to have a temper tantrum. The dogs are looking at me. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, I absolutely hate that. And finally, I just said, fuck it. Just leave. The second you leave and someone comes home, they're going to find it. Now, I didn't really have a temper tantrum, so I'm kind of proud about that, but I did make the decision to just cut and run, and it will all work out. I promise you, I tell myself. So I've got, I got $30 laying around. I grab the money in case I have to park. Now, typically, I would just use my parking pass for iHeart, which is in my freaking wallet, and that's it. But I don't have that, so I'm going to drive without a license and no parking pass downtown. All right, I get downtown, and I go, first I'm going to look around, see if there's a parking spot. I don't have to pay for parking. Cheap bastard. So I kind of drive kind of far away from DeVos Place, and I find a spot, but it's not really a spot. It's like in a loading zone in front of Kendall College of Art and Design. Oh, yeah, fuck it. It's late. Nobody's going to unload any art supplies or anything like that. I'm parking here. Put it there. All right, rolling the dice. So now I've got more anxiety. Am I going to get a ticket? Am I going to get towed? Oh, shit. Can you imagine that? I said, fuck it. I don't care. Put the car there, and that's the end of it. Get out, walk across town. Kind of several blocks. I had to walk quite far. Some old guy's whistling a little too dramatically as I'm walking. You ever encounter that guy who's like, I swear he was a ghost. He looked to be about 95 years old, and he's whistling as I'm making my way through downtown. I'm like, it sounds way too good to be annoying. He's like, it sounded good. Like, this guy is clearly a ghost. So I go by the ghost, march into DeVos Place, and there I am. Now, if you're on keto diet, which I am, and I haven't slipped since the last paintball party, the camper show is not the place to be, because setting up shop for yet another year is nothing but cakes. Yeah, that's right, nothing but cakes. They make these spectacular bundt cakes, and I wouldn't be surprised if this year they charge $1,000 for one of these little cakes, and the line is all the way out the door. People aren't even there to see the campers. They're there to get the stupid cakes. So these fuckers are there making $1 billion selling these cakes, and they smell so good. Oh, my God. And then you got Guy who's got almonds that he what is that? They're like roasted, but they're like coated in like sugar and bliss. They smell, and it just fills the room. It is so enticing, the heavy scent of this deliciousness. And I'm walking through all of these people trying to make my way over to the folks at Terrytown. Like, fuck, this is terrible, and I'm starving. I haven't eaten appropriately yesterday. I'm like, God damn it, what am I gonna do? Somehow. And then they got sample guy. You want a sample? Like, yes, I do. No. Avoided that, and off we go. So then, hanging out with the folks at Terrytown, making more friends, and doing my thing. Now, 4 to 6 today, I will be back at the camper show. Diana is going to be with me. We'll be wandering around wherever Terrytown is. Now, Terrytown has two setups. They're in the main area. They got the big banner set up and say Terrytown. I'll be wandering around somewhere there. And they also have another setup in the South Hall. There's a big map when you walk in. Wherever you see Terrytown, that's where I could be. And what you do is if I'm not, you don't see me, march up to any one of the folks at Terrytown and say, "Hey, where's Eric Zane?" And they'll go, "Oh," and then they will actually they'll text me, and I will, if I'm not around and they can't see me, I will go to where you are and I'll say hi, and then I'm gonna try to get you to buy a fucking RV. Unnecessary swear word there. So 4 to 6 today. Then I march over to Van Andel, Griffin's game. Then I march over to Pepino's to hang out with you for the party. Late into the night. What a day. What a spectacular day this is going to be. All right. Let's see. What am I forgetting? Oh, and then Sunday, 2 to 4, I'll be at the Camper and RV show. Nothing on Saturday because I will be screwing up the radio station. All right. Creeps with Kids, January 18th. Not this weekend, but next weekend. That would be Saturday the 18th, Emerald Theater in Detroit. Get your tickets, creepswithkids.com, or just click on their image at ericzaneshow.com. Coming up next, of course, the asshole Iranians shot down a passenger jetliner. Iran, what is going on there? Like we need to ask, right? That in a second. All right. What the hell did I write here? I'll just get to that now. So when that all unfolded, when the Iranians launched their missile attack on the bases where the American military are in Iraq. So Iran launches them at our bases in Iraq. I don't know if they originated in Iraq, the missiles, or in Iran. I'm not sure. Probably in Iraq. No idea. The next morning, we all wake up after we heard about the attacks during the day, and we hear that a passenger jet that was taking off was crashed. And at first, the story was it crashed. In the back of my head, I didn't say it because I didn't want to be a guy who, starts like acting like a conspiracy theorist. But it made sense in my brain that thing probably got shot down. Or something weird happened. It wasn't a mechanical issue. It wasn't a pilot issue. It wasn't a bird strike or anything like that. In my brain, I was thinking shot down. I didn't voice it. But by the end of the day, it was starting to be discussed openly. And then I'm like, huh. And then by yesterday morning, it was really starting to buzz when I got done with the podcast. And by the start of the afternoon, it was like that thing was shot down. Son of a bitch. Now, the Iranians are saying, no, come on, no way. And then, there was a number of Canadians on. There's like 60, 70 Canadians on that flight. It was a Ukrainian flight going from Tehran to the Ukraine. And that absolutely was shot down by missiles. Now they're saying 2 missiles took that thing out. Now, what I want to know is, was this intentional? It doesn't make sense. It's not really logical. Why would but nothing makes sense, really, if it comes out of Iran, if you think about it. I mean, these are people who can't even have a funeral without massive death. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least if these crazy fucks did something that made no sense, and that is just blow anything out of the sky for no particular reason, even though it has nothing to do with what is happening in the world between Iran and the United States. It would be just like them to just shoot down a random plane. So the United States and Canada, they want to get their investigators there to determine what is up. There's a little bit of red tape that goes with that because of the sanctions imposed. You can't just march into Iran and do that. Amazingly, the Iranians are open to the idea of the investigators going there to check out the scene. Meanwhile, they're saying that they have their own investigation, but countries in North America, U.S. and Canada, are like, we don't think the Iranians have the required training to know what the fuck they're looking at. Basically, they're saying they're stupid, and we all know they are. So when you get to a crash site, I was seeing this morning on a TV report on NBC, they're looking for fuselage damage that is consistent with a missile striking it, scorch marks, things like that, the way the debris lands, and various things like that. And, of course, the data recorders. There are two. There's the one for the telemetry, and then there's the one that records everything that goes on, voices in the cockpit. Those two were recovered. But guess what? The asshole Iranians say they will not relinquish those for anybody to examine until they have examined them, and that could take, what, a day? A couple days, a week, a month, a year. That's right. The assholes are suggesting that we wouldn't be able to get our hands on those for extended time. Of course. You know why? Because they're going to manipulate it to determine what they want to be known. They're going to muddy this thing up and gray everything and make it a little bit blurry. Leave it to the stupid asshole Iranians to screw up something as simple as just lobbing their stupid missiles, which do nothing to the United States, in their ridiculous, as they put it, slap in the face to the United States. Though even when they try to act tough, it's a shit show. So this whole thing is nonsense. By the way, Trump revealed at a rally in Toledo yesterday. And, honestly, I do say, take it with a grain of salt. I've made it very, very clear. I am not one of these lockstep MAGA hat wearers. I do call bullshit when I see it, and I'm not saying that this is bullshit, but I do take what he says with a grain of salt. And so, but he did say yesterday in Toledo that that crazy general that they blew him up was planning attacks on 2 United States embassies. So, I don't know. I kind of believe him, but I don't know. I don't believe everything that comes out of that guy's mouth. Do you? All right. That's enough of that. Boy, man, I'm really struggling on reading today. I'm looking at the shit I wrote down. I was like, what the fuck did I do? What is going on there? All right. As you know, in Michigan, you can do just about anything when it comes to pot. The fact that Michigan, after the recreational pot, everything passage took place, you can have a lot of pot. In fact, in Michigan, you can have like 10 times the amount of pot than you can have in Colorado. Michigan is now like the greenest state in the union. The freedom to do whatever the hell you want when it comes to this is, to me, I am very, very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of the freedom that people have to do this. And I do not have a dog in the fight at all. I don't smoke it. I don't grow it. I'm not interested in it. I find the whole thing smelly and boring. But the fact that you can just light one up or grow whatever you want, I am a big, big proponent of that. I don't want my kids to do it. I would be disappointed if they smoked it because it's just not really in my brain. I would be disappointed if my kids smoked pot the same way if I found out that they drank too much or if they smoked cigarettes or vaped. I wouldn't like that at all. I put all of those things together, but what am I going to do? These are adults. I can't do anything about But in one Western UP, God, I can't talk, Western UP city, the people in this community of Bessemer, Michigan, have become so green, and everybody is growing pot there, that the whole town stinks so bad that these shit kickers are now saying that in their community they're going to have a vote to see if they can buy a smell detector device. Now this is a real backwater town. I mean, they probably just got electricity. It's like the mountains of Tennessee, like I talked about the other day. And this is a cottage industry for them, so they're all about it. Everybody in Bessemer is growing pot. Probably all they did before was like ice fish or something like that, or work on trucks. Now, all these green thumbs in Bessemer, everybody is growing pot in their residences. They've also found that the people in Wisconsin, they're 6 miles from Wisconsin. The folks from Wisconsin who also want to grow pot, they come to the great state of Michigan where you can do whatever the fuck you want, which is just so fantastic. And they're buying homes and not living in them. They just buy the homes and then lay up everything they need for pot. Oh, that is fantastic. Now, I'm not really sure what they do with it if they then harvest it and then bring it into Wisconsin, which might get them into trouble. I don't know the laws in Wisconsin, but eventually it's going to be a thing where, every state is going to be like this eventually. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if one day they start to have like advertising on TV for pot. I know on this podcast, I don't think there's any laws that would keep me from doing this. Maybe there is. Maybe the grower could get in trouble. But I am not opposed to saying, hey, get your pot at John's Pot Shack. Sign up at johnspotShack.com to get a free ounce when you mention the Eric Zane Show podcast. I know that my friends at Next Level Arms, who make the shit kicker AR-15s, he can't do like various Facebook posts and boosted posts and things like that because of Facebook will shut it down. But not me. I've got no laws regulating me. Fuck, go buy 10 AR-15s. That's one of the reasons why he signed up. It's a loophole. It's the Eric Zane Show gun loophole. You can do that with pot, too. So in Bessemer, so many people are growing pot that, I'm not kidding you, we should go up there and do a show from there. You walk outside, even if you're not, like, in sight of pot, and the area, the community smells like pot. Now, I don't know anything about growing pot, but apparently there is a point in the growth of pot or the plants that when they bloom, it gets smelly, okay? In fact, when I was working with Horizon Hydroponics, they gave me all sorts of filtration to but I didn't have the filtration that would blow it outside. That's what you need to have. You need to have like a filtration, or else the inside of your house is going to stink. But anyway, it's so heavy duty in there, and that it's kicking all the smell outside, and the whole town stinks. So they had a vote to buy like a piece of gear, which to these people is probably a lot of money. And it's an odor detector, and if you have too much odor around where you're growing, you gotta like fix it. Apparently, they're working on some type of ordinance so that the place doesn't smell like shit. They're buying the odor detection device, and they are drafting an ordinance to crack down on the unpleasant smell. I guess that's in the eyes of the beholder. Some people love that smell of blooming marijuana plants. Bessemer City Manager Charlie Lopper said, quote, the product is the Nasal Ranger. could be used to check a variety of bad air complaints. But Charlie acknowledged, it's a lady, Charly, she acknowledged that marijuana appears to be the key target. Can you imagine if Charlie's walking around and one of the people like lays out a mean fart? Or if you're with O'Neill, he burps. He's like, it smells like shit over here. The nasal ranger's going off. Councilmember Linda Nelson said the city of Bessemer stinks. She said this Monday as the council voted to buy the device, which will cost $3,400. You're going to need appropriate training. What the hell's involved with the training? You turn the thing on and look at it, right? You can smell marijuana everywhere. Well, you don't need this device. You already know it stinks. What the hell's the big deal? What are you spending $3,400 on it? We've got people who cannot sit in their backyards because the smell from their neighbor is so bad. Well, if you can smell it, why not just have an ordinance that you have to have a device that makes it so it doesn't smell, right? Medical marijuana has been around since 2008, but Michigan's 2018 law, which cleared the way for what we've been talking about, has made this a thing. Bessemer is a population of only 1,905. In fact, I thought that was going to be a lot less. I was going to think it was more like 190. The bloom period, 6 to 8 weeks. A lot of people describe it as a skunk-like odor. It can be strong. And I guess if you're growing it inside, you can have 6 to 8 weeks. And that's from when, if you're growing more, though, you're going to have that keep happening throughout the year. We're treading very softly in this area, she said. People have a right to grow pot in their house, but everybody needs to be considerate of their neighbors so the odor isn't affecting their enjoyment of the outdoors. Talked about the Wisconsin and Minnesota thing. This is good for Bessemer because all these people that are buying homes in Bessemer, that's going to help for a big population boom. Bessemer is going to become the greenest spot in Michigan. That's good. You got to embrace this. You got to roll with it. Come to Bessemer. Smell the pot. Somebody's got to take a stand. This is a piece of equipment we need. So they're making a big deal about buying the nasal ranger. Well, just buy the fucking thing. It's possible that some Bessemer residents might require an air filtration system in their homes. All right, well, comes with the territory. That's what happens. I don't think this is that big of a problem. They got to roll with it. Or maybe, why don't you could also impose a tax? Couldn't you? Do something like that? I don't know. They'll figure it out. They are in the western UP, so all they're worried about is pasties and shit like that and desolation and poverty. But they got to focus on getting rid of this smell, I guess. I just want to go and I know some of you Zaniacs would love to take this is what I do. I get my CDL. I'll be the driver for the road trip to Bessemer. And then we'll get a busload of people. We'll go up to Bessemer, and we'll do the podcast from the stinkiest place in Michigan. All right. Fantastic. All right. In just a second here, I want to talk more about this royal drama because, I didn't think this would hit the fan as much as it has. And not that I don't normally care about this, but I just for the life of me cannot figure out how it is the way it is. There is so much drama about this damn thing. I'm going to tell you about the rumor that I started, too, or I'm trying to start. I'll get to that in a second. But speaking of shit kickers, I've got a gunsmith on the show. It is BK Guns in Stuff. BK Guns, the letter N, Stuff. You can get to their Facebook page by clicking on their logo at ericzaneshow.com. Gunsmith, repair or clean your gun, okay? Their number, 616-902-2447. Thank you to Ben and his lady, Kyle. Tag Accounting is the accountant of choice on the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is so important. I know you might have waited, so the halfling might be upset at you when you call, but he'll get over it. 616-301-9516. Call Troy the halfling and reach out to him about him doing your taxes. tagcpa.net if you want to see via online what the hell it looks like. But basically, I want you to call 616-301-9516 and set up your time with Troy. I just heard from one of the Zaniacs who posted in one of my commercials for Tag Accounting on Facebook, who has been working with Troy for 10 years and said, I was so glad that Troy got on because I'm here to vouch and confirm what Zane's been saying. Troy, the halfling accountant, is the best in the business, all right? He is absolutely terrific. This person goes, I forget the person's name. Thank you for writing it. Talked about how thorough he is and how you could very well leave money on the table. Tax laws change every year, for God's sake. And don't do it by yourself. That's an unbelievable amount of time that you're wasting. You could be spent doing fun things. Don't waste your weekends doing your stupid taxes. Have Troy take care of it. It's affordably priced, and you will not be dissatisfied. 616-301-9516 for Tag Accounting at tagcpa.net. Still getting my thoughts in order. I got up on time today. Everything was good. And yesterday I did not get up on time, and I was frustrated beyond belief as the shit started to hit the fan here. And I was, oh, God, I'm not prepared. This is all my fault. I suck so bad. Jesus. Today I was up. All right, ready to go. Packed the lunches for the girls. Everything's good. And then, as Diana's downstairs, it happened yet again. I hear her going, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then she says it, uh-oh, I smell poop. Oh, God, no. No. They were all just out. They now think that this is where you go. My rugs, my carpeting is where you go. I don't know which one it was. No, I tell you what, I can rule out Bruce. It was large. He's not big. I know what size his poo is. And he actually went. Benny went upstairs. So it's down to O'Neill and Daisy. Now, the thing is, though, if it was O'Neill, he's not going to eat it. If it's Daisy, he is. That did not happen. But the debris field looked a little bit like that flight that went down after it was shot down in Iran. It was everywhere. And I'm like, okay, who did it? Which asshole did it? And I got a feeling by the consistency that it was O'Neill who decided to move a little bit. That would explain that it wasn't eaten after. But, I actually have it so down, this is gross, where when I pick it up with a bag on my hand, based on the give, like when you touch it, it gives, the amount of give indicated that it was in fact O'Neill. So that's a term. If you feel the give a certain way, like the give on Benny's turds, they're solid. O'Neill's, you can really feel the give. Pretty sure it was O'Neill, but not 100%. It's, So then I'm like, fuck. And Diana, I don't know what the deal. She's like, yeah, it looks to be just laying on top of the carpet, so you can just pick it up. And I'm like, I know you're pressed for time, so just pick it up. And I go, are you suggesting I don't get the carpet cleaner and clean that up? Yeah. I'm like, what? Who are you? What animal is okay with an animal depositing used food on the carpet and then just pick it up and not use the device you have in the next room that shoots water and disinfectant and soap onto the carpet, and the brushes spin and it out. I want to use that. What type of animal? I mean, and is this a regular thing with you when I am not home and the dogs take a dump on the carpet? Do you just pick it up and go, there's residue there. There's a lot of, come on. So that was awful, awful scenario going on in my brain. I go, no, I'm going to use the carpet cleaner. What the hell is wrong with you? You ever notice that on the days when I'm talking about O'Neill does something awful, or that he doesn't make watching the video of this, and we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can see the dogs. Yesterday he was sprawled out on the couch with his head on the pillow. Now it was you, wasn't it, you bastard? Man. Why, I didn't even write that down to talk about that. Where am I? Oh. God, what is wrong with me? So yesterday I talked about this a little bit. About how the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, she's the Duchess of something, I don't know what she is, have decided they want to, get divorced or something like that from the royal family. Now, it must be really bad what's going on there. Because, and they want to be financially independent. Now, I can respect that. It's not like they're going to be hard up for cash. And a lot of people are saying, well, you see, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want everything that goes with being a prince and a princess, or whatever she is, duchess, and not have to deal with their royal duties. And first, I'm like, royal duties? What are your royal duties? What does that even mean? Does anyone even really know what the royal duties are? In the U.S., there's no way anybody really knows. Now, in England, these kooks love these people. And it's a big deal. Even though they don't really do anything in terms of furthering the country. They have nothing to do with anything. It's just wallpaper, window dressing, eye candy. And, if you're going to be a king, or at least when in some of these other countries where there's a king and queen, or a king, they actually run the fucking country, I don't know of any, but, that's the way it is. Hell, like when my dad lived in Iran, the Shah was the king. And this guy, he was like Robert Baratheon. He'd go out on a horse with a sword. He'd go running through the town and kill. That's what kings do, But the king or queen, or you could be, so it could be like Robert or Cersei. The king or the queen is very much involved with the government. So, yes, I'm equating Game of Thrones to what I expect a king or a queen to do, and that is slaughter innocents, right? Well, they don't do any of that shit. They don't do anything at all in England. So I'm wondering, what exactly are your royal duties if you have that existence? So, I don't know. So they don't want to do the royal duties. Now, the big thing is they're pissed off is because of how they've been treated in the press. And so, I can understand that too, but how bad can it really be? You've got everything. And I guess it's his opinion that he was, it wasn't his choice to be in this life. So him wanting to take his wife and child and do their own thing, I absolutely understand and respect that. But it's not going well. Apparently there is a shitstorm in Buckingham Palace. And they're not liking this. They're not. And I'm like, you need to do your royal duties. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? What are you talking about? This is so stupid. I hate that this is even a thing. And then there's talk about them moving to Canada. Now, I haven't really followed the royals over the years, so a lot of this shit is new to me. When I hear about that, I understand that Meghan Markle is from Canada, so they would then set up shop in Canada. Okay. I don't see a big deal with that. I think it's fantastic. Whatever. When I was recording the Insane Asylum last night for Northern Michigan, I went on the air and started to say that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and I was serious, were in Grayling, Michigan, Crawford County, which is one of the poorest communities in the state of Michigan. And we're seeing, and I've started a rumor that they're going to buy land, and build a getaway home in Grayling with guards and fencing. And so now I'm anxious to see how this goes, to see how far it is it hasn't hit yet. It doesn't air till Saturday night, but I'm anxious to see if anyone in and around the Grayling community believes this and contacts the radio station, because in this whole prank that I'm pulling, I'm serious about it. I said, yep, unbelievable. The big news is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were seen outside of the American Legion in Grayling. They pulled a few frames, and then they knocked back some cold ones with the locals, marveled at their lack of teeth, wandered over to the front of the building where they got that tank out front like you have in front of every Legion, and took some snapshots with the locals, showed off some of their gadgets, which the locals don't have, like cell phone, and then they were on their way. So I started this whole rumor, and then I said, now I've got more information. What you need to do is you need to listen to JC Monday morning. He's got the latest update. And if you see JC on the street, ask him about his inside scoop. And he's the guy who owns the station. He's on the air in the afternoon. On the Royals buying a vacation home in Crawford County, Grayling, Michigan. So I'm hoping to God that rumor takes off for these people. And we'll see. It probably won't go anywhere. Hell, as far as I know, they don't even air the show. I'm sure they do. All right. So while this is all going on, you know that wax museum? How do you say it? Madame Tussauds? Is it Tussauds? I have no idea. They got one of those in London. And they also have one of those in New York City. And they have a wax installation, which, by the way, when you look at those wax installations, my God, are those fantastic. I mean, if you walk right up to them, I guess you might be able to tell that it's wax. But I'm looking at the wax installation of the Queen Mum and her husband, I forget his name, and of Prince Harry, or what's the other one's name? Prince William and his wife. I don't know her name. And the Prince William's wife, Princess's wax is so hot. Oh, my God. I just want to eat the ass out of that wax figure. It is, damn it, is that hot. That is the hottest thing in the world. If I had that thing, what the hell is her name? If I had William's wife in wax here at the house, it would take 1 minute before I carved a hole right. All right. So and Markle's too. God dang, that is some hot ass wax. Jesus. I would heat up the shoulders with like a heat gun, and then make the arms go over her head, and make the hands like the size of like a crank, so we could do like neighborhood Markle gangbang. I'm probably gonna regret that at some point. Hey, we don't want to advertise because you suggested that you're gonna have a gangbang with the wax installation of Duchess Meghan. Well, in the installation, you got the old man and the Queen Mum, and you got William and his hot wife with the carved-out butthole, and Harry and Meghan. Well, the Londoners are so pissed, they removed the wax installation of Ginger Harry and Meghan Markle. My God, what a bunch of wimps. They're still in the family, but they're so butthurt they actually said, "Oh, fuck this." And then they're doing the same thing in New York. The famed attraction Thursday booted the eerily real wax likenesses of Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, from a display with other members of the family. What do? They just throw it in the garbage? The move came less than 24 hours after the couple announced Wednesday they would step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent. I love that. I want them to start selling Amway. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Or do a podcast. Now that would be a fucking podcast. Can you imagine if they sold that to like iHeart? What they could, the coin that they could get for the Harry and Meghan podcast. Harry and Meghan, the podcast. The royal couple's announcement surprised Anglophiles. Is that what they're called? The Britons are called Anglophiles? I've heard of pedophiles and pedophiles, but not Anglophiles. Even reportedly inside Buckingham Palace, they were surprised at that big announcement. Madame Tussauds, however, acted swiftly. The couple left a hole in the display that showed Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. That's that guy's name. General Manager Steve Davies told Reuters, as two of our most popular and well-loved figures, they will, of course, remain an important feature at Madame Tussauds London as we watch to see what the next chapter holds for them. No word on where they will land. They need to, have them, at different spots. I mean, I don't know, if there's, I don't know, is there a wax installation of, O.J. slaughtering Nicole? If you had that, you could put those two there, just as they're, eerily staring. I don't think that there is a wax image of the Juice beheading Nicole anywhere, though. I am really strange today. Have you noticed how weird I am? In the last 5 minutes, I talked about destroying the Duchess of Sussex wax to make it look like she's having a gangbang, cutting a hole out of the butthole of Prince William's wife. I still can't. Kate Middleton, that's her name. I keep forgetting her name. So I am really, really screwed up today. The Twitterverse is attacking, saying that you shouldn't do that to remove them from it. They're saying it's very petty, and they're even saying it's racist. Now you're like, wait, how is it racist? Well, I don't know if you know this, but Meghan Markle has African-American heritage, okay? So they're saying that this is racist. I don't know about that. Can you imagine if Harry actually married a lady that was like Kenyan runner, Charlie Murphy, skin tone? Holy shit. Now, the shit would roll downhill. People in England would not like that. They're a bunch of racists over there. Others are saying this is disgusting and childish. So there you go. That's it. That's my thing about the royals and the wax and the buttholes. My next story involves someone that I've never really talked about on the podcast. She's known as AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think that's how you say her name. AOC, she is a representative, 30-year-old representative in the what the hell is she? Who does she represent? New York? Anybody know? I don't know. I'll probably get to it. I'll probably see it when I'm reading the story. But she has something that I have. We have something very much in common, her and I. This is crazy. I've never talked about her. I'm going to talk about her now. I'm really interested in this. This is not a political discussion, though. Before I continue, though, as you know, Blue Frost IT, those badasses. My God. Amazing power couple. Ashlyn and Alan. Very similar to me. They broke away from their respective real world. I shouldn't say real world. They were experts in their fields, and then they bailed to start their own company. Now, they did out and stepped out on a limb on their own. I was kind of forced into it, but the struggle is real. The grind is very similar. We're both trying to make it happen. And they were listeners of the old show, listeners of Free Bear and Hot Wings, and now support here. And they're like, look, We want you to talk about us. We're in this boat together, so that's what it's all about, man. So, not everybody has a small or medium-sized business, but you might work for one. And so I'm asking you to put into your boss's ear that IT should not be neglected. A monthly subscription, as it's called, for lack of a better term for Blue Frost IT ensures that if the computer setup at your business or your network goes down, you have someone at your beck and call. That's what a managed IT service provider does. Blue Frost IT at 616-200-8550 or their website, bluefrostit.com. They also sponsor me on Twitter. Follow the show at Eric Zane Show, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. I'm really, really working hard and pushing them so that I get businesses that are involved with the show in some way or even considering it would reach out to them just to get more information. It's an insurance policy. That's exactly what it is. If you take the time to spend money on your antivirus software, great. It's going to let you know that your computer's fucked. There's so much more in terms of threats that can happen that can screw your setup up. You don't want that to happen. These phishing scams are so elaborate, man. You're going to get somebody in there, and they're going to click on something that they're not supposed to, and then boom. You're out of commission for 4 days while you try to track this down. You got to have Blue Frost IT in your back pocket. Now, if it does happen to you, and you don't do it on a preventative basis, they can still help you. But then lesson learned, right? Don't be in the lesson learned category. Be in the preventative maintenance category. 616-200-8550. While I'm at it, and I know I had people say, Zane, the podcast is getting longer and longer. I go, I know, man. Well, this is what I promised you. I can't, with clear conscience, just come on here and do 1 minute of talking to you about whatever the hell is on my brain or play some audio or have a story for you or whatnot. And then, give you elaborate amount of sponsorships. It has to be balanced. So in order to do that, you gotta podcast the shit out of it all day, every day. And that's the only way you can keep adding new sponsorships. That's what we're doing. That's how it works. TC Paintball, one of the first to jump on board on the audio podcast, this endeavor, and the first to get on board on the YouTube days. Remember that? Back after Free Beer and Hot Wings, I had about 2 months of standing in front of a cell phone with no gear, just doing my thing. Yep. TC Paintball, book a party today, 616-249-8227. That's 616-249-8227 in beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan. I think specifically Walker. That whole Walker, Grand Rapids border area. They're kind of like out in the middle of nowhere on Waldorf. They've been there for a little while. Used to be known as the Haunt Indoor Facility. Awesome. Open year-round. Work being done as we speak on the outdoor venue for the summer, so you don't have to sweat your balls off when it's 100 degrees in there. You're going to love that. Plan a party at TC Paintball. I know I'm planning one right now. Paintball War number 7. We're working on it. And the new thing is the Little League. 4:30s on Thursdays. Man, this is awesome. Going to get your kids moving. They're going to have so much fun. The key is to keep your kids from hating you when they're young, so they have nothing to hold against you when you're old. If you're a great parent, you're going to enrich your kids with fun things to do. They can't plan this shit when they're 9 years old. You do it, dummy. Hey, Joey, why don't we gather up your 6 friends? I don't have any friends. I play video games. All right, well, okay, let's get you some friends, and then we're going to go and book a party at TC Paintball. I don't want to get shot. That hurts. No, you dumb fuck, Joey. Rick has the low-velocity guns, so they don't hurt, and you can still play paintball. What do you say we do that? I don't know. I'd rather stay here and become translucent and not interact with people in real life and die of heart disease at 22 because I haven't moved. No, Joey, This is where I'm either going to kick your ass or you go to the TC paintball party with me and your friends that we're going to make. All right. 616-249-8227. They're not there right now. They open at 11. Fully stocked pro shop with all the shit you need. If you're an experienced pro, go there and check it out or look online. tcpaintball.com. Alexandria Ocasio or Orcasio? Ocasio? AOC. I'm not going to get into the politics of this because I think her and I, in fact, I know we are 100% different in our views of the world. All right? But Brian indicates to me that she and I have something in common. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez posted, the New York rep, 30 years old. What a beauty, by the way. You know, in this day and age, you can't really say how attractive someone is unless you have a podcast like I do. She is a stone-cold stunner. I mean, and I'm not saying that in a lascivious way. I only do that about wax installations like I did earlier. But in terms of, I mean, I'll say this about a guy, too. Like Harry, he's a handsome ginger with no doubt an abnormally pink penis. Which brings us to the question, do you think on Harry's wax installation, they actually make a penis on the installations of dudes? Do they do that, or do they just make it like Ken doll for all of them? I wonder. How'd you like to be the guy who's the penis shaper in the wax museum? Hey, you're being transferred to vaginas. You're doing such a good job. I hate working on vaginas. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says she has established a life goal. Oh, by the way, the only knock on her appearance is her tooth to gum ratio. Have you ever heard about the tooth to gum ratio? Yeah, I guess I don't want to show you. No, I'm going to show you. I'll post a link to this in the comments of the podcast. You'll be able to get a good look at the tooth to gum ratio here. You can't really make it out. It's tough on the screen, but do you know anybody who does that when they smile? The upper lip travels up a bit too high, and then the gum, the pink gums, there's actually more gum seen than tooth seen. If there's more gum seen than tooth seen, it's weird. You look like the dude from the Hellraiser movie, and that's not great. So I don't know if there's a procedure for that, but when the tooth to gum ratio is out of line like that, it's a struggle. I don't know. You have to reel that in. I think that if she ever wants to run for president, she's going to need to get that work done. You can't have a bad tooth to gum ratio. You're probably wondering, what the hell does she have in common with you, Zane? She got a French bulldog puppy. You know, it's crazy when the only thing that they report about her is that she's got a new puppy. She has posted on her Instagram, "Hey, boo-boo, hi, welcome to our family," she said in a short video clip of the yet-to-be-named puppy. Looks to be a brown Frenchie. And she posts a picture of it and says, "Yes, the goal is to train him to be a community pup." Stop right there. That is not going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Ms. Do you say Cortez or Ms. Ocasio? Or I'll just stick with AOC. That's not going to happen. And the word train with French bulldog is probably crazy. Now, some people tell me that they're actually a pretty good dog to train, but if that dog is anything like Bruce, there will be no training. The only thing that's going to happen is that dog is going to stare at you with one of your pair of underwear or maybe the device to make your tooth-to-gum ratio less in his or her mouth and stare at you. And when you make a move to go get it, the dog is going to break your ankles because the dog is going to do some fancy Barry Sanders maneuver, and you're going to wind up on the ground. The dog is probably going to shit everywhere, too, in your nice house. And by all means, do not leave a bed inside of that crate, because the dog will shit in the crate and then roll around in it. The dog probably is not going to play well with others and be kind of a prick. The fact that the dog is laying in your lap right now is just because it's probably exhausted from being brought home. But I'm guessing that there will be nothing but angst and anguish. The next time we see her, she's probably going to have pulled out all of her hair. She's going to lose her mind. She's going to look like shit. Her clothes are going to have piss on them. And it's going to be a nightmare. Isn't that right, Bruce? Hey, what do you think about this? Fuck that. Sound asleep. All right. One more story for you. And then later on, I got the Patreon. By the way, while I'm at it, if you have a local business, or not even a local business, I just had one who's a web-based business that is in West Michigan but services everybody everywhere, you need to reach out to me. I can get people on the podcast who have to, scrape the nickels to pay me. I can get you on this podcast in some way, shape, or form, and you can be a big part of it. There are also ways, if you have a little bit more of an extravagant budget, that I can put you in here more front and center. But the beauty of this is I can do whatever the hell I want. Don't think that you cannot be on this podcast. If you really want to be on this podcast, I can get you on this podcast. So that's the way we do it. Just ask me, and I'll try to accommodate you as best I can. Oh, while I'm at it, the party that we're having tonight downtown at Pepino's, I thank you so much for the hosting job by Pepino's. They have been nothing but accommodating. And for the next month, I'm going to feature them and thank them as regularly as I can for them being part of the podcast, because we did a little traded out the party for mentions on this podcast. So I'm just going to start that right now. Pepino's downtown Grand Rapids is your place for all that type of food, fun, and revelry. Downtown Grand Rapids, Pepino's, kind of like the cornerstone of Ionia. That's the place you go when you're downtown for after a Griffins game. A lot of the players go there after the games for post-game parties. I'm hoping to get one or two of those with me as well. I reached out to Hickett's, trying to get his ass there, but we shall see. So thank you to the folks at Pepino's downtown Grand Rapids for taking care of the Zaniacs and me at the party. And I really appreciate that. That worked out fantastic. Where the hell was I? Oh, yeah, talking about businesses being on the show. Reach out to me, Eric at EricZaneShow.com. So, all right, a couple of things about these fires in Australia. I don't believe one statistic. Every time you turn on the TV, because as you know, the TV news is a business. It is a TV show. And anything to draw on the heartstrings and to doom and gloom you and to fear you, put fear into your heart, they are going to do that. And one of the big things that moves the meter, especially for you bleeding hearts, is climate change and the supposed effects of it and how it affects the world. And in this case, burning koalas. So the latest thing that is being propagated that I don't believe is that a billion animals have burned. There have been a billion koalas and kangaroos and whatever animals that are in on the east coast of Australia have burnt. A billion. That actually is being said. I want you to think about that. A billion koala bears and kangaroos have been killed. That is the biggest crock of bullshit I have heard since that little shit who said that 100 billion straws or some stupid number are dumped into the ocean every day. You remember that shit show when that little cock on his book report said that? And then every news outlet in the world ran with it and said, oh, look, there's 80 billion straws being dumped into the ocean every minute, killing our turtles. And everybody made that shit up. Oh, my God, it was so embarrassing. That does happen, and that was all debunked. So I'm waiting now for the debunking to take place on the billion koala bears burnt to a crisp. Now, are there koala bears that have died? Of course. Every time there's a forest fire, shit dies. I mean, that happens all the damn time. And I'm not saying that that's not sad. I hate that. I mean, koala bears are great. I want one. Have you seen all the videos that have come out from people in their makeshift koala compounds? Some guy in his car had like a koala cooling station, and he had because the koalas are all pissed off and they're running for shelter. This is good for man because now you can hang out with koala bears. And who the fuck wouldn't want to hang out with a koala bear? There's a guy in his car, and there's like 10 koala bears in his car. And he's got water, and the air is on, and the koala bears are hanging onto the seat, and they're all like, yeah, shit, yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. So koala hotels are popping up all over Australia. And on the news today, I heard it again. Poor Casey Jones, God bless him. Great local broadcaster. He read this lie that 1 billion animals have been killed since this fire started. And oh, by the way, the usual shitheads are saying, oh, this is caused by we neglected the planet that caused it. This happens every year. This happens every single year. And this happened because about a dozen people started fires intentionally. This wouldn't have happened to the scale that it's happening now if those fires were not set intentionally. But that isn't stopping all the usual asshole Gestapo Nazis for telling me that I have to have 10 koalas in my home and that there's koalas running through the street on fire. You turn around, and they're actually putting warnings out on the street that if you're on the street, a wall of burning koala could overcome you. Now, I don't know about you, but if that is the case, I want to see that. I want to see the wall of burning koala or the hopping kangaroo wall of fire. That needs to be seen at some point. I don't want to see your stock footage of a little fucking koala walking across the street who's got a clump of fur burnt off and there's a fire raging behind him. That's not what I'm talking about. That does not mean 1 billion. So to be clear, I'm telling you right now, and I have nothing to back it up other than just common sense, there were not 1 billion burnt koalas or kangaroos. That's a lie, okay? Made up to scare you and try to further this horse shit agenda, okay, to make money. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if the climate activists, in order to get what they want, and that is you bowing down to them, didn't start the fires themselves by taking a koala, dipping him in gas, lighting him on fire, and throwing him into the brush to start the whole fucking thing. Or lit a kangaroo and then pushed him off of a cliff into a brush. That's what these asshole climate activists do. They're crazy. So now the politicians in Australia are pissed off because there's a big protest scheduled about climate change or something like that. And the politicians are saying, get the fuck out of here. We're too busy with this fire right now to worry about you. The government of Australia in the state of Victoria is telling the climate protesters to cancel their planned protest that's going on today. Now, are they ahead of us? Behind us? I think they're ahead of us. It probably already happened by now. So they're all pissed off. Emergency services ministers say it's reckless and selfish to rally when the cops are busy in the bushfire-affected communities. The demonstration has been set for Friday night. So I don't know how far ahead they are. In Melbourne CBD. I don't know what that means. Melbourne CBD. It's some area, I guess, in response to the bushfire. So all those activists are saying that this happened because of climate. No, it didn't. It happened because some dick lit the fire. It's always hot this time of year. They have extremely hot temperatures this time of year. In fact, if you were to look at the record high temperatures in and around that area, and I did, the temperatures there now are not even records. The records that were set were like in 1930. Yes, it does get up to an unbelievably hot temperature at that portion of the globe, but that happens every year. That's it. That's what happens there in the bush. Authorities on Wednesday urged the uni students for climate justice organizers to call off the event, change the date, or at least confine it to one spot because they don't have the infrastructure to keep it together. You know, those climate activists are crazy. What they need to do is they need to take some like koalas and put them on like a trebuchet and shoot burning koalas at these guys. That'll really freak them out. Now that would disperse the group. Can you imagine if you're there marching in the street, a fucking burning koala, a salvo, Game of Thrones styles of burning koalas come flying at you? Fuck, I'm gonna head for the hills. All right. This is a time for protests. But it's not this Friday. It's a reckless, so they're saying, yeah, we understand you can protest, it's just not the time. Police are needed to help people evacuate, to direct traffic, and deter looting in evacuation zones. Climate protesters shouldn't have to be told, forcing police in emergencies. That's not going to stop. These people are crazy. Services to divert resources to managing climate protests in the middle of a bushfire crisis is selfish and irresponsible. I agree. And don't come back. Just fuck off. Go spend your time better. Go help the burning koalas. Can you believe that? 1 billion animals? Some people are actually saying that. My God. If there was 1 billion burning koalas, don't you think we would have seen that by now? By the way, as always, if you have an opposing viewpoint, I encourage you to write me an email. I will give you the time of day. I might definitely, in fact, I definitely will disagree with you. But you're always open to reach out to me. Eric at EricZaneShow.com. All right. One more time for Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp. I am hoping that my time with Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp is not short. I am in discussion right now with Matt, the brand new owner of Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp, as I told you. And I'm hoping they can stay on as a sponsor because, you know, different ownership, they might not be interested. But I got an interview. I got a meeting. I got my foot in the door. I basically had to start from scratch. So we're kind of in a holding pattern with them. I'm just going to keep it going as usual and let you know that it is a fantastic place to work out. And that is the way people work out more and more these days. And that is cardio work combined with strength work. If you're the dude who sits in the gym and just slings weights for a little bit and then sits there and waits around for 15 minutes looking at your phone, finding out how many koalas are dead, you're probably just spinning your wheels. There's a reason why you're not fit. You got to do it the Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp style of doing it. Constantly moving, strength moves, cardio moves, flexibility moves. It's all there. They tell you what to do. You pay them once a month. You show up. You work your ass off. You're a winner. Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp, and you can take advantage by trying 1 week free. How about that? That I know is still a thing. March in there and say, hey, Eric Zane sent me. Hey, new owner, Eric Zane sent me. I heard him talking about it on the podcast. I'm here to get in shape. Give me my week free. He's going to say, all right, here you go. Get over there, right over by the burning koala. Hudsonville Fit Body Boot Camp. You can get to their website by clicking on mine at ericzaneshow.com or just march in. Say, hey, I'm here, man. Sign me up for a week. Okay. I want to see your face in the place at the big party going on tonight. In fact, this is what I would love. I would love to see you at the Terrytown RV spot at DeVos Place for the Camper and RV show. And then, okay, it's what you do. You walk in, you buy a camper, then we go to the hockey game, and then we go to Pepino's. A little bit more on the camper thing. I want a young family, some, young kids. You feel like, well, my young kids are here. I guess we don't have fun till they grow up. This is what you do. You meet me at Terrytown RV at DeVos Place, and I will show you a camper that you can pull with your car and you can take anywhere with all the amenities, kitchen, air conditioning, heater, water, toilet, shower, everything. And you can take anywhere with your family and have these tremendous shared experiences that you won't believe. I mean, that's where the memories take place. It isn't so much driving to Disneyland and spending $8,000. It's the moment that you're all sitting by the fire and Dad's roasting his marshmallow, and he's so excited about it, and it falls off the stick. Uh-oh, and everybody laughs. Those kids will remember all of those little nuances forever and ever and ever. I promise you, that's how it works. Those are shared experiences with your family. And I'm going to give it all to you for about $190 a month. Yep, I can get you into a camper that has all of the things I just talked to you about. Can you afford $190 a month? Fuck yes, you can. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in that thing, and then you're going to go this summer and have the time of your life with your family. Oh, my God. And then you know what's going to happen? You're going to use that thing so much for years. You're going to get so much life out of that thing, and then your life, your life stage is going to change, and you're suddenly going to make more money. And then like 8 years down the road, after you've used the shit out of that thing, you're going to trade it in. You're going to get next to nothing for it, because that's how it goes with a camper. And it doesn't matter, though, because you're going to buy another one right there, but you're going to make a little more money. So next year, you're going to step up to like a Class C, a nice Jayco. It's going to set you back a little bit more, but who gives a shit? You're making more money. And then you're going to have that thing where you drive to the Grand Canyon with your family in the back. They're playing cards or watching TVs. Your wife's getting hammered. She's like, yeah, woo, White Claw, shit, yeah. And then you're going to pull over after 8 hours of driving. You're going to set up shop. It's going to take you no time. Just put out the awning. Tell the kids to go play over at the campground while you and your wife just boom, right there. That thing's rocking back and forth, man. It's awesome. Then you get up the next morning. You're hungover. You're going to puke. You're going to get some coffee. Sit in the front seat. Like, oh, God, I'm still hammered. I got to pull over and sleep some more. Sleep it off. You get going about 10 a.m. You drive over to Mount Rushmore. Ah, shit. I've done all this stuff, minus the drinking and boning. All right. See me about this today, 4 to 6. Ask for me. They'll know where I'm at. All right. So done. I got nothing left. No more gas in the tank. I need coffee. And then we're going to do it again on Patreon. Yes! That's how it works each and every day with the Eric Zane Show podcast. Fucking Bill Burr. Twice a week he does this shit. I do it twice a day. And it's about 1 million times better. I want you to tweet at Bill Burr that his podcast compared to mine sucks shit. I'm going after the Bill Burr crowd. There's nobody better. No one. King. Have a great one, folks. I'll talk to you down the road. See you tonight.